Hello, everybody. Hello, dear attendees, and welcome to this eTwinning Stories webinar number 7. So welcome and thank you for joining us today. As you know, this session is recorded and the recording will be shared on our official YouTube channel as of the next day. So this is a reminder for you to know that the session is recorded. Today's session, just let me check technicalities, just if the recording has correctly started. Yes, that's great. Today's session is part of a series of online events designed to inspire educators from the Twinning community. And for this occasion, we have here with us today Miguel Ordinas and Estibaliz de Miquel Velle, who are runners-up of the 2024 eTwinning European Prizes for the age category 16-19 years old with their project Pot en voyage avec eTwinning, compis de viage con eTwinning. And today, the speakers will share with you insights from their project, first of all, so to share with you the key experiences that led to their recognition. And together with that, they will also share tips to implement in the classroom, challenges that they have encountered in their career, and resources that can be useful for your journey as educator. So you can note down some useful resources that you can use also in your everyday teaching practice. So I'm very happy to welcome with us Miguel today. So hello, Miguel.
Hi.
And we have also Estibaliz that now she had some issues joining, but now she should be back with us. And just let me make her a presenter. Okay, now everything should be fine and she should be able to see us and also to present. Um, so without further ado, I will now leave the floor to Miguel and Estibaliz, but first I will remind you that you can use the chat throughout the course of the session. If you have any questions for Miguel and Estibaliz, questions are more than welcome, along with thoughts and comments that you would like to make. Will be there monitoring the chat, and if there's time at the end of the session, we will be happy to, I'm sure that Miguel and Estibaliz will be happy to address them. Okay, so now I will leave the floor to Miguel and Estibaliz for their twinning story and their insights from their experience as teachers. Miguel, the floor is all
Oh,
yours.
yeah. Hello, everybody. I just want to be sure that stability is.
I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Can you see me?
perfectly.
Okay. Hello,
Yes,
Alessia. Hello,
we
Miguel,
can
and
also
everybody.
see you.
Okay.
Welcome, Estibaliz. Happy
Thank
to
you.
see you.
So, Miguel, I don't know if you want to start. Let's go. You go ahead.
Okay, but no, I let you start.
Okay.
Estibaliz.
Well, first of all, I have to thank you for inviting us to these eTwinning stories. We're really grateful to be here and, of course, sharing with all of you and with my colleague. You're going to see that we were 4 colleagues working in this in the project. We'll tell you a little bit about. And so let's go for it, Miguel. And well, I have to say that my name is Estivali de Miguel. I'm a French teacher in Madrid, and I'm a twinning ambassador in Madrid since a Spanish twinning ambassador since I think 2015 already. So, well, that's a little bit about me, and I think now, Miguel, you can go for it.
So I'm Miguel Ordinas. I'm Spanish, and I'm a Spanish teacher. I teach Spanish, but I work in France in a high school near Strasbourg, uh, close to the borderline to German. Germany, and I'm an e-trainer from 2016. I started working in tuning in e-twinning. My first project was with Estivali, uh, and then well, we have worked together. Sometimes we have worked with other people. The project we're going to present you. To show you it was we made it in 2022, and it was the first time we were working together again after 4 or 5 years,
4 years. 4.
4 years break. Right? So the project is Pods en voyage avec eTwinning, compis de viaje con eTwinning.
I
It's
don't
a
know if Miguel, I don't know if you have the slides so we can see the presentation. Maybe it will be a good idea to put it.
you don't see it.
I
Ah,
can see the presentation.
Okay. I don't know why I cannot see it, but well, if not,
Yes.
I
Now,
have it.
I will check
mm,
in the chat if everybody is able to see it, but I can see it correctly. Maybe it's a connection, Estibalis.
Okay. Well, if everybody can see it,
mm,
I can just
Let me
grab it
check.
from my.
uh, is it okay for everybody?
Yes, we had
Yes.
a confirmation.
Okay,
So
thank you very much. So, Estival, if we are on the
Okay.
second slide.
Okay, it's okay then.
So this project, it was at first for between students who were learning Spanish in France and students who were learning French in Spain, in Madrid. Um, but the project at the end, we were uh, 3 high schools and 4 teachers because we had as well teachers studying technology in a high school of the north of Spain. And we were 4 teachers, Estivalis, because a colleague of you. Do you continue or I explain it?
I'm just trying to see because I don't see the
Okay, I
PowerPoint,
continue. It's
and
okay.
you can keep on going. Well, I know it a little bit by heart, but I prefer to have the slices, so you can keep on going, and then I will tell you because
Okay.
I cannot see the presentation. I will
So
be
at the
there
end
in
of
a
the
minute.
project, we were 4 teachers because there were 2 foreign language teacher, Spanish for in France and French in Spain, and technology in the on the north of Spain, and a colleague of Stivalid in the same high school who was teaching. I don't know how to say in
Is
English.
is a physical education
Is
teacher.
physical education teacher. Right.
Yeah, EP, I
So
think. Yeah.
you may ask, or you may ask yourself, how could we work together, such different teachers? Um, so at first, no, our idea was of to make pupils prepare a travel among Spain and France. They had to prepare the trip as as a way of learning um, tips about the other country, and they had to prepare their travel, and then they had to write the diary of their trip in a collaborating writing, and the pupils studying technology had to model. Do you say like this? They had to model in 3D several objects that they had to they found in their trips, and with all the work made by all the pupils, everything was put in a virtual space uh, that prepared by the technological or the pupils studying technology, so that all the communication was prepared by foreign language pupils. They had to negotiate with the, the technology students as well, what it was able to model in 3D with objects where uh, they were able to design, and then everything put it in a virtual space.
Mm. Yeah, it was like this the summer of the project is like really important because now you're going to see how we work together and how teachers that well at the beginning Miguel told me, but what is going to do an ICT teacher with us if we're going to do a collaborative fictional travel diary, and what is going to do an EP teacher here with us? So that was at the beginning we were only the both of us, I mean Miguel and me, and then in this cross-border project, pupils from France and Spain collaborate, as Miguel have said, using their partner's language, and pupils act as mentors and help their peers to practice the other language by co-writing this fictional travel diary, as Miguel have said, and um, and it was really important for us that the students had to work on forums, online forums. Uh, so um, yeah, I think well that's one of the main things of the projects. And what else, Miguel? I mean, that's we can see the three schools in the. I cannot see the which we're seeing now, but after the summary, the three schools we were working. It's Spain and France. We can see that. I'm a French teacher in Madrid. Then we have Logroño, the IC teacher, and then Strasbourg, France. So these three schools, high schools, were working together, and then after that, um, that was the main idea. I mean, what we wanted to tell you is the summary of the project, and you're going to see what how we had collaborate. Um, and well, I don't know if maybe we have to go on with the structure of the project, the phases, and that we have worked, and so the structure of the project, and well, so the first idea, and then we'll give you the tips of an eTwinning project is this idea of collaboration, and how teachers who, well, we're going to think, okay, maybe an AP teacher, an IC teacher cannot work with language teachers. Of course, that's one of the ideas of eTwinning, is just to collaborate. It's an interdisciplinary curriculum,
I
and
want to say
yeah,
that it was a trip as well as to us as teachers, because
yeah,
the first idea of in September between Estivalit and me, it was just to think about what what project could we do to let us students learn about the other culture, the culture they're studying at school. So my students are studying Spanish culture, her students were studying French culture.
yeah,
For us, it was very important that they had to learn together and learn from each other. So we thought about the travel, but it's just an excuse. They
yeah,
had at first to find, as you see, the first phase of the project. It would be to find their travel teammates. mm. So they had to write in a forum some presentations. I saw you there was a virtual wall. It was a digipad, but it's like a Padlet. And they had to write a small presentation from themselves, and then they had to read the others and say who they wanted to work with or who they wanted to travel with. My students, the French students, always explain themselves, or they write in Spanish, and Estivalit students, Spanish students, had to write or to communicate in French. Once they had found who they were wanted to travel with, they had to write it here in another wall, themselves, they had to write the different teams. And once they had made teams, the second I let you explain the second.
Okay, but that
Okay.
was that was great because I mean, you remember we were like, okay, let's let them choose themselves. I mean, we don't want to. I mean, they have to describe themselves, and if you're traveling with that person, then you're traveling with that person. We're not responsible of what you are going to choose. Okay, so that was a good idea, and we didn't. They didn't put their faces. They put like objects. I think Miguel was very
Yes,
careful with
sorry, I
all
put it
this.
again. It's quite small. They had to write and put a picture to represent themselves.
Yeah,
It was important for us to preserve their identity. So first of all, we told in on the net, you don't write your name and your surname, just your name I don't know how to say it in English. Pseudonym on another
a nickname. The
a nickname,
nickname.
nickname
Yeah,
or the, and you don't put your picture if you don't know who's looking at for it at it. So you just may put a picture representing you. What I'm saying is that with eTuning, we always work as well, educating how to use how to be responsible and how to use properly digital tools and the net.
yeah.
So
So
that's what.
that was really important at the beginning. It's not you don't give your identity. I mean, you don't we don't need your face. You just describe yourself, and you have to be careful about what you're putting on a. I mean, if you put in a picture, we don't we want a picture of what you like, or and then you will explain it with that. So that was the beginning. That was the beginning, like telling, okay, be careful with what you're using if you put in a picture somewhere, and
And
then
as
after
Stibali was
this,
saying, sorry, Stibali, as you were saying, after that, during the travel or during the work, sometimes the students say, oh, my teammate doesn't work properly. And we said, you have to deal with him or with her. You have to negotiate with him or with her. And it was you who has chosen who working with them. Well,
yeah.
that
Well,
was the point.
that was part of it. Afterwards, we'll tell you about the negotiation conflicts after. But well, at the end is going for a common goal. So after this first phase, the trouble teams, okay, they have the trouble teams, and then getting to know each other because okay, you have now it's this what you have to do is to present. So now we were working this part of after writing and interacting. I know you, but you have to introduce your partners. Your at the beginning they were only two. Afterwards, they were more because the IC teacher came with more students, but at the beginning they were only two. Each team had two or three at least, and that was the and then they had the Spanish student had to present thanks to what they have exchanged in their forums. They have to present their partners. So that was the oral presentation, and they've done it also well in a collaborative digipod. So
And
interaction, and after that, an audio telling about their partners.
But to make this audio, to produce it, at first they had to talk or
Yeah,
to
exchange. Yeah,
exchange information during month. During month, they were writing together in the forum of the Twin Space and to get as much information from their partner as it was possible. Once they had those informations, they had to write a text to present their partner. They made it. Uh, I don't know how to say it. They send it to their teammate to
peers.
correct. As I'm writing, I'm French and I'm writing in Spanish, but I have a Spanish person who can correct my text. So they had the proper text, as you can see here, for example. In a column we have the the text in French. Then we have the correct
Corrections, yeah.
corrections, or the Spanish text and the corrections made by the teammate. So every every teacher was, sorry, yeah, every pupil was the mentor or the teacher of his or her teammate, and in the other side. And with that, they had to ask their partner to read this text so that they had a proper model of pronunciation
Pronunciation, yeah.
in the foreign language. So at the end, my student had a perfect text, model of pronunciation, and he or she was able to or to have a proper audio presentation of his partner or her partner. What we are saying is that for us, the final product is it's important, but the most important thing was all the process, how to arrive there, how to get the good work, and in the end, and that was very very important for us.
Yeah, because as you can see, of course, we were at the beginning when we talked, we thought about the curricula, the pedagogical curricula, and then we have said, okay, which are the competences we want to develop in our students? Of course, we wanted to develop the linguistic, the pluricultural, and the digital competences, and also emotional and citizenship. And the linguistic, you can see it here, all these oral writing productions to get to know each other and to know. And now we're going to go with the travel notebooks. This is the third phase. And this third phase, I think, I don't know, Miguel, do you want to talk about it? So this was more like a culture, to know about each other's
Mhm.
culture. And I don't know what, if you want to talk about the third or the fourth, or you
Okay,
choose.
the third I can
Okay.
introduce it. Yes, so once they have found their travel teammates, they have found well they have introduced themselves. Oh, what we haven't said is that at this point, after the second part, at the end of this product, all the audio, the yes audio. No, how do you say the oral presentations,
Yes.
the technology pupils, they put the audios in the we had a photo of every class. They had to ask their teammates who was each one with the presentations, and then they put in a
In a picture.
interactive interactive
Yeah.
picture the audio on the body of each student. So we had
Yes.
an interactive picture of everyone with the presentation of their made by their teammates. Okay, that was the technical part of this activity. And then for the third activity, they had at first to prepare their trip. They had to propose to their teammate one city or two cities, it depended of people, to visit in their country, and the other had to say the same thing in their country. So we had one or two cities in Spain, one or two cities to visit in France. Um, Once they had decided where to go, they had to decide what to do, what to visit in this country, and what activities they were going to do. Because for us, it was again very important to obviously they had to learn culture about this city, but we didn't want just information they can find in the internet. So we wanted to them to decide some curious things to do in that city, and then starting preparing la narración, como how do you say
Yeah, the narrative, the narrative.
the narrative they were going to. So what do you what problems are you have to have in this city? Who are you going to meet? They have to meet some. historical person or a writer or um, a character from literature and interact with them with him. Uh, and in this phase, they had as well to think about serious several objects important in their narrative and negotiate this with the technological pupils that had to model or design them in 3D because maybe they they said no, that's not possible. Okay, you want I don't know, an umbrella, but that's very difficult to do. So find us another object. That was a phase of negotiation. And once they had completed everything, that's the part of collaboration. It is the
Always in the
idea.
forums.
Mhm.
That was always in the forums.
And talk about Noemi, the physical
Yes.
education teacher.
Yeah, because my the EP teacher worked with me. Well, work in the project. We were four in the team, and she took care of these sport activities. So, which, for example, that was really funny because one of the students from France wanted to go skiing, but she wanted to go to the Canary Islands, and then we can see that about the intercultural competence, she or he didn't know much because what the Spanish student have to tell this people was that well, in the Canary Islands normally we do not go skiing. So which sport activities they could do, and Noemi took care of these parts and with the students. It was really nice because we could work together during the whole project, and well, at the end, the idea was to have one narration in a city in Spain, three journeys, and in each journey they have an object that was the narrated thread. Imagine that if you go to Grenada and you go and you visit the Alhambra, and then you can meet Lorca, and then they could. It was a fictional diary. So then it was 3 days in Spain, and then 3 days in France, and they could choose one city and the things that they could do there, and of course every journey they had the technical student, they have to model this object that was the narrated thread of the story. So they had to work in forums and interact to create the whole thing, because at the end the idea was to create a virtual room, a virtual space that you are going to see very soon, because then we have to give you the tips. I mean, we're talking about the project all the time, but this is just the introductions, then to give you the tips of what we think
So
eTwinning is
just
about. Yeah.
Estivali, during a month, it was during the March. Every week we starting writing. For example, now
Mm.
writing in past tense. Last year or last week we went to Marseille, for example, and the Spanish students started writing their diary, and the French pupil starting writing the diary of what happened in Spain. Next week, second week, students were continuing the narration of the diary of their teammate, so that during a month we co-write,
Switch. Yeah,
eh?
we were
We
switching.
co-wrote,
Yeah,
we were
to create
switching.
a collaboration. Yeah.
And the result were diaries bilingual. So first day, for example, was, or in the morning it was in French, and in the afternoon it was in Spanish. It didn't matter. Take the students from Logroño, the technological students, they communicate as they want. They could write in English, in Spanish, in French. We told them that they could use translators online, because for us it was important that the language wasn't a problem to communicate. And with all of this, I showed you
A little video,
the
yeah.
yeah, the video. um,
We have said that the importance is of we for us is really important the process, but of course the final project you're going to see at the end, the IC teacher with the students, they create a really nice virtual room. Each room is the room of one of of the teams, with the objects, the narrations, and the audios. So let's go and see it.
do you see it?
We
Yeah,
can see just the
there's
like
no sound.
we don't see anything moving, just the slide virtual world with a
uh,
picture, I
it
think.
doesn't move.
No, are you, because now we see the presentation. I don't know if instead you changed window and you would like to share.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry.
It's
Just
okay, no
I
worries.
made a mistake. So I show you the good one. Sorry.
No worries.
It's okay. This one.
In the meanwhile, I encourage participants to pose any questions if they wish to.
So
Yeah, of
here,
course. I mean, we're talking too
here's
much, maybe.
No, no.
Questions, please. Okay, let's
so
go. This is our
here's what.
ICT teacher, Guillermo.
Okay, he was presenting, and that's the space they created with what he created with his pupils in 3D, and there all our students could move as in a video game and see all the work that they had done together. Mhm. So you have all the links, and every team had a room, as we are seeing here, and the students, the technological students, they designed this space and they organized this space as they wanted. And you have the text, all the text of the diaries, and the sound of the readings, because every pupil had to read
Día
the
1, la concha de salida.
at the end
Recuerdo ese día
their
como si
diary as
fue
well.
ayer,
So we had the
cuando Siam
pronunciation
vino a
as
mi
well.
casa el día anterior a nuestro viaje. Ella
If
me
I
regaló
can move
una
farther to
Nous avions déjà
go.
séjourné la veille dans notre hôtel.
So the good thing is that you can see that each room is the work of each team. We have the narrations, the audios, the objects. And these are the audios. Let's listen to them.
El día anterior fuimos a visitar la
Do you
ciudad más bonita de Granada.
Y objetos en el armario. Nos metemos en la sala.
sorry, but it doesn't matter. You had the sound as well. Well, you make an idea of how it worked, and that's what that was the how we collaborated, and they I don't know how to say the.
So first tip, collaboration. I mean, that's the
back to
main.
the presentation. Yes.
Okay.
Alessia, could you share the presentations again, the please?
Yes, no problem.
So that we
Yes,
see it.
Yeah. Here it is. And yep.
And the good thing about this is that then we have the students' testimonials at the end, and then we can see what they have learned after all that. Because at the beginning, one of the students thought that they were going to lose 1 hour of French class, and at the end they said, "Okay, I learned some little things about this: how to collaborate, how to negotiate in another language, how to. I feel now that I can do things that I." And those testimonials are really. I mean, I was amazed when I listened to them. I didn't know that they were. Oh, and this is in 2022, so it's like 2 years later, and they are saying things like that. And I don't know about you, Miguel, but students' testimonials are really.
Yes, but do you want me to? The only thing is subtitles. I don't know how to put it them. If you if you don't mind, we talk about our I don't know how the tips and.
So we have seen now these the idea of the project. We have seen how we have worked together, and I think we can talk about the tips that we think are after some years we have worked together, and I think for us, I don't know if we can see that now. I can see
just a minute. I show you for examples of
the objects, for example, the
objects,
objects 3D models. Yeah.
For example, just to have an idea, okay, the virtual space we have seen, we will show you if we have enough time the video with with
the
pupils.
students.
That's it. Oh wait. Our tips.
Well, after this, I mean, you work first, and then you get to know that things that we cannot forget when we're doing an eTwinning project. And Miguel is black, I'm blue. Let's go. You go first, I go first. The things, I mean, what we have said the other day that we were working together, we have said, okay, you write, I write. And you're going to see that some things are what we think that are the 3 tips for an eTwinning. For the 3 tips are really close. Miguel and I, we think more or less the same things, but we're going to give you some tips. For me, collaboration means well-being at school. That means when I work with Noemi, the EP teacher, I mean, everything have changed because, for example, I was working. That was my first year. The students didn't know me, and Noemi was there. I mean, I was, I think, her 8th year at school. So when the students start looking at us and saying, "Okay, what are they? Why do they're collaborating? They're okay," and then the students start to understand what eTwinning was, and the well-being. It means that Noemi came to my classes and we worked together, and then we have done a video conference with Miguel, with their students. So we were 3 teachers working with not only my students, but with my 12, 15 students, with the students, with Miguel's students. So they were having 3 teachers creating activities for them. So they have to work. And for me, that's well-being, and that means to collaborate with my partners and with the students. Of course, pluricultural competence. I mean, they got to know this. Well, we can say intercultural competence because they got to know their own culture and their partner's culture. And well, I'm a French teacher and I do bashibak, so there was also literature inside, so they have to know about and ask if they need to the partners about culture and the cities, the monuments, the activities they can. I mean, if you're going to Marseille, what are you going to be able to do? Is it a French student who can help you, and the other way around, a Spanish teacher? I mean, a Spanish student, if you're going to Grenade, to Madrid. So what can you do there? I mean, it's not only about linguistic competence, but also pluricultural competence. And at the end, of course, they had a lot of problems. But okay, I mean, may I call you at 7 in the afternoon? Of course not. The French students, maybe they are having dinner. So in Spain, they do it another way. And in France, they do it another way. So you have to negotiate. You have to know when you have to call your peer and to talk about. So they had to negotiate, and they have some of them, maybe some conflicts, like, okay, I'm writing all the time. So why? I've said maybe you have to ask them because maybe they have a break and they're not school at the now, and they're on holidays. So please ask, and maybe there has to be a nice way of doing, because that was part of the idea. I mean, you negotiate. If you have a conflict, you have to talk with your peer, and because you have a common goal, and the common goal is that you have to write and to know what you're doing with your peer. If you cannot do that, then there's a little problem, and you have to solve it.
And
So,
in the end,
Miguel,
and
that's
no, and in the end, to learn as well that in our lives, sometimes we have to deal with people who don't work at the same rhythm of us, and we have to do alone. So but they had to show us in the forums that they had tried to convince, they had
yeah.
tried, that they had done their job, and then in the end, if the other person wasn't there, and they had, for example, few informations, well, work, even if it was short,
Yeah.
they had tried, and they had tried to communicate. That's why for us the process, the forum, the conversations are more important, even more important than the final product, huh? But for them it is just as well, they had to learn to work together. For me, I thought these tips about myself. So I think for an e-training project, we have to be open-minded. For example, when we started this project, after 1 month, Stivalis tells me, "Hey, I have met a super teacher teaching technological education in Logroño. I think we have to do something with him. He works a lot with virtual spaces." And I say, "Yes, okay, Steve, but who's going to do with us?" The students are not learning French. Their goal is not language, and our project is about conversations, about communication and cultural learning. So in the end, I was open-minded. I said, "Okay, we're gonna try." Uh,
Well, open mind at the beginning, you were not that open minded.
no, no, I
Like,
was just
thank
asking
you, share
myself
with us.
how to do it, and then we it was a very acute project in the end. Huh? So be open-minded when you start working
Yes,
with other
with other
people.
teachers. Yeah.
Accept accept other ideas, and sometimes, more oftenly, more often we have marvelous results. Be patient, and be we have to have some empathy. We have different rhythms during the year, and we have to understand other people don't work at the same time, at the same with the same determination as us. Obviously, if we have partners that don't doesn't work, we can work together, okay, but it's important not to get angry so quickly, okay, and we have to be flexible before, during, and after the project. It's quite the same thing of the other tip, but it's really really important to have a good relationship with partners and go far in the knee tuning project.
Yeah, I mean, these three tips for the twinning community of educators. Maybe you have many tips. These are, as you can see, where Miguel and me were more or less who have worked together in different projects, and I think, I mean, we have done this together, and we have said, okay, let's go for the three tips. You don't look at my answers, okay? And we have written all of them, and then we talk about it before having the webinar, and so it was nice to talk
Mm.
to him too. So let's go for the three challenges we have encountered as in our teaching practice. Okay, so for me to teach what collaboration is about is not easy, and for I always think that you is a matter of respect, is a matter of no wanting to know the other's culture, is wanted to know what students are thinking about. I mean, you have to at the end to know what the other wants and what you want, and you have to, as I have said before, this well-being at school is very important. If there's no, I mean, I don't know how we can work if there's no a well-being at school. You need it to collaborate. I mean, if I don't feel good with Miguel, I'm sure I'm not going. So if there's a problem, I have to talk to him. If there is a problem in the team, we have to negotiate. If I mean, if the schedules, if I say that the tasks have to be done at I don't know what time, and you say no, I can't. Okay, but okay, you can. Okay, let's go for another way of doing. So collaboration for me and for my students, and I think my students loved at the end to learn how to collaborate with the French students. I was and with the Logroño students. Then after that, to motivate students, sometimes they think, okay, I don't know. It depends on sometimes teachers and students are more like, okay, traditional ways of doing. What is this about? What is eTwinning? I don't understand. What do we have to do? Ah, okay. And then to motivate, to tell them, let me guide you, and you will see. Okay, so it's like a surprise. Let me this and that's beautiful when at the end they see that they learn things and say, okay, I've learned this and this and that. So for me, that's, and at the end, well, the third challenge is just to teach what a collaboration about, to motivate students and teachers, and then to gain trust from the students and teachers when using new methodologies. Um, they look at you like, okay, and what is it about? Should I, yeah, go for it? And what I loved about Noemi is that she said, yeah, I go for it. I go for it. I go for it. And we were two teachers really involved, collaborating with the students. So those are the three challenges I I encounter. So
My challenges are, well, I agree with Estibaliz about what he has said. She has said. Uh, for me, at the beginning, the both challenges I have chosen in the end, mm, there are known problems if you think them. Or if I think now how to deal with them in eTwinning. But at first, I didn't know how to integrate eTwinning project in my curriculum. It's so easy. You just have to be quite flexible and to make a break in your in your mm, yes, in your program, and in the end you have you always manage how to integrate. For example, now this year I have two classes of the same level in two different projects. um it's a small example, but now I have seen I needed to wish a Christmas and Happy New Year and wishes for next year to the foreign colleagues. I needed the subject, how to say it in English, I don't know, el subjuntivo estivali.
this the
Well,
substantive.
yes, but it doesn't matter. We
It
have worked this grammar thing with the other classroom. I needed the past tense, so I started studying with them past tense. It doesn't matter. In another moment at the time of the year, I will do the other thing with the other classroom. But I needed something now. Well, I changed my program. I just adapted. So something in the beginning could be a problem. It's not in the end. Same thing to find pedagogical goals in eTwinning. At first, it was difficult. In the end, we do as a foreign language teacher, we do things we could do in the classrooms, but the great difference is that it's not something the teacher asks their pupil to do for him or for her. Is to communicate with their partners, and that's very, very different. So present yourself. Write a letter presenting yourself. Okay, I have to do that for Monday, and there will be a note, a vote, a note. No, you have to present to your partner. Oh, that makes sense. That's
Mm.
that makes great difference. I go for this last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inspiring resources. Okay. So the three inspiring resources that I have influenced our journey as educators. I mean, that's how when I read this, I said, okay, Miguel, you go for your. I'm going to give my answers. I don't know if yours are going to be like mine or not, but let's go. So, for example, my resources are my eTwinning colleagues. They have, I mean, why work with? These are human resources. So we have to know that, I mean, Miguel is a treasure. Guillermo is a treasure and Noemi is a treasure. And I work with them. So let's work together. So I develop the pluricultural competence with if I that is intercultural competence. If I work with Miguel, only intercultural. If I work with different countries, it will be pluricultural. But I also work the digital and the with the EP teacher, of course, physical and emotional um, competence. So human resources, please. Those are treasures. The people you work with. We don't have to forget about that. Then working with other collaborative methods, such as the e-tandem. I started with the tandem, and then when I found eTwinning, I said, okay, that's what I want, because we have forums, they can interact. So we learn through interaction. And that's what I wanted to work with my students. You talk to a peer of your same age, and you're going to learn. We're going to guide you, but you have to learn from each other, and you're going to feel confident, and they start to know that they are teachers and they can help the other. They're going to talk about culture, etc., etc. And of course, um, my theater classes at university helped me a lot because at the end, um, this is an e-twinning is online collaboration. So it means collaboration online is a method. The methodology is community. So community, you learn from teachers and students. And of course, it's online. So that's very important. So to know how to interact in online, uh, and then you have also to convince, to motivate, and you do it in class. And with a little bit of theater, if you motivate in a nice way, and they see you, it's going to be contagious. So we have to be contagious in a nice way. I mean, um, so I mean, let's go for you go, Miguel, because if not, I start motivating
No,
myself.
doesn't matter. Um, First of
and
all,
I mean,
I want
maybe
to
there are
say
questions. Yeah.
yes. There's something I always say to Steve and when I do when I talk about e-twinning,
Yeah.
why do I start an e-twinning project? Because I like to do it, and I like to start thinking with other people, and I like to collaborate with other teachers. Um, Obviously I do it for students, but first of all I do it for myself. And as I like and I enjoy it, as for me, I can convince my students about it. But obviously I, 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 I believe it's a very good way of learning for them. But it was about motivation. I have learned a lot of working with different people, different projects. I start with this last tip, and different working methods. Um, that has changed the way I teach in the classroom. mm. Um, for example, working in training has driving me to into collaborating practices and digital tools in the classroom as well, not just for e-training projects. Um, and this method or working method with the Stivalid of um, what I explained before about the project, the process, has changed as well my way of approaching teaching with my students physically. I mean, I give every time more importance to the process rather to the final product. And even in evaluation, when I have to put notes, I don't know,
grades, the grades.
The grades, when I have to put grades for the students, I always give more importance to this process, learning process, than rather than the final product. Okay, so that's my training experience.
Nah. Inspiring resources. So we have human resources, technical, digital resources, but thinking always about our students and what we want to teach. So I don't know if there are questions. I mean, I don't know if
we
because it's so almost 5. I don't know if we have time.
Yeah, we have actually a couple of minutes. So far, I didn't see questions in the chat, just some comments about some challenges encountered by our attendees. So I encourage, if there are any questions, we can use a couple of minutes. In the meanwhile, but I can see
we have the email address. Maybe at the next
exactly.
We can give. I mean, you can write us whenever you want. We're here.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's very helpful, Estibaliz, and I would like to add to that these materials. So I thank, of course, the attendees that are joining us today, but these materials are recorded, the session of today, so also the presentation. So it's a very useful material that will remain available for you, so you can always note down the resources in later on, and they will be uploaded in a page in the annual theme group, which I posted at the beginning of the session, but I will post again the link so you can share the recording with all your colleagues and really use it as a material for inspiring, find inspiration for your projects, for your teaching practice. And for that, I really thank you, Estibaliz and Miguel, for sharing your knowledge with us, your time with us, and dedicating this very interesting content to this session. And
thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. So I actually think there are no questions. So you were very clear, I think, and giving this overview of your project and of tips and resources, which I think can be used across different age group of pupils. So not only the age group of your project, but these are really approaches and tools. So that's really great. So I would like to thank you again. And if you want to wrap up with some final words, otherwise we can also end here the session.
Go ahead, Miguel. Yeah.
I just wanted to share with you the video, so that you can see it and
I think perfect. We want to give voices to our students.
It is just 2 minutes or longer, and you will listen the Spanish students talking about the project, and it's really interesting and inspiring.
Thank you again.
Thank you. It was nice.
Thank you very much again, and thank you to all our attendees. Have a nice evening, and looking forward to see you again in the next webinars and collaborations.
Okay. So I don't know if you can put the email and the video, or is it over now?
Yeah, if you can, perfect. And it will be also in the presentation in the annual theme group. So you will be able to receive, attendees or anyone who can see the recording and the presentation will be able to contact you, and encourage that in case you have any questions or curiosities. Thanks again, and have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.